that
moment.
Like, we need
Prime time.
Prime
That's what you
time in the huddle. Who can guard Tessa?
Who can guard Tessa? Like, she was so frantic. And now I don't think
She's genuinely wondering.
Who?
Episode 7 of the pre-wrap. We're back in this stew.
Yeah.
So
Thank
excited
God.
about this stew.
Everything is right in the world.
We're back.
Working on some technical difficulties, but we're good. We got to
all
get
for the
set up.
fans. All for the fans. Today we're doing kind of an SEC pod.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're in the SEC today.
Yep.
And we're excited.
Touch a little bit on the pro stuff as always.
A little CBA update because of course it's like nothing's happening, but there also are things happening.
Yeah, it's like nothing's happening, and that's why there's many things happening.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, it's sometimes when it's like, oh, it's a little too quiet.
Yeah,
something's
exactly.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
So.
But also, like, people are talking to the press.
I know.
Like,
It's smart. That's
what's
what I
good,
would do.
Miley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to start SEC?
Yeah.
SEC. Well,
Let's
that's
go.
our theme for the day.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a little SEC case study, but I think I'm gonna get it going with Tennessee because I feel like that's like the most fascinating team over the last.
And we
few
talked
weeks.
about Kim Caldwell last week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
had some. Talk about someone who's had a lot to say to the press.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. She's been chatting.
She's been chatting, yeah.
But yeah, so there's been a lot of interesting Tennessee drama, or just sort of like they've just been a little bit shaky over the past like few weeks, very up and down. So I'm gonna go back to January 29th.
Where timeline?
Yeah, they had a weird 15-point loss to Mississippi State, and that I feel like maybe was, in hindsight, maybe it was just like, oh, they were off their game, they had a bad day. But looking back in the context of how they played over the last few weeks, I feel like that was kind of like the first red flag of maybe they were a little bit shaky, they weren't as strong as we thought. And then obviously after that, they had the huge blowout loss to UConn, which maybe you wouldn't think so much about because everybody's losing to UConn, so maybe not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't really say much. Like, it's an impressive loss, but it's kind of like, is it? Because everybody's losing to UConn.
Right.
And then they squeaked out a really close win against Georgia in overtime, which Georgia's a pretty fascinating team. They've been popping up more, I feel like, over the past few weeks with some impressive wins and losses. And then I feel like the beginning of the end, I don't want to say the end, I mean, I'll ask you guys your thoughts, starts with the blowout loss to South Carolina and those interesting words from Dawn Staley, which we touched upon last week, where Dawn was kind of saying that Kim Caldwell should have kept some of those words to herself in terms of what she said to the press about her team, and trying to like fire them up, but maybe a little bit backfired or was not the right time or place to say that. So after that, we also said that their schedule wouldn't get easier, and it did not. Not even close.
Like, not at all.
They had a blowout win against Missouri, which obviously isn't unexpected in any way, kind of in a similar fashion to how South Carolina beat them, 98-53. And then they lose to Texas, which we were all talking about as a very fascinating loss because it was kind of like, it was like the crash out coaches going against one another because Mark Schaefer had just come out and after the Vandy loss and said like, we played with no heart.
Both of their teams on
crazy. So that's why we were kind of like excited or looking at that game in an interesting way. And also because they played
well, like it was a competitive game. Like I remember my reaction after that game was like, okay, this is a good, a much more promising loss than
That's what we told
we were at the time. We were like, maybe Kim Caldwell like has something.
Totally. It was still an impressive loss. I mean, I feel like most like SEC matchups are like that. Like it was just two very physical teams, very fast paced. They can pretty much score from anywhere. And I feel like that's what those SEC games come down to. Like who's the bigger and like more physical team that's gonna establish themselves. So that was Texas's first ranked road win, which is pretty crazy. And obviously,
I didn't realize that. Okay.
And a tough loss for Tennessee. They were trailing like most of the first half, and then they made it close, and they kept it close the rest of the way, but that was a close loss. And so I feel like, that loss is when things kind of started to take a turn. It was a close loss, home loss, and another top-ranked SEC powerhouse. And then they lost to Ole Miss, which is pretty crazy.
Ole Miss is like kind of one of those like sleeper SEC teams where it's like maybe they're not super highly ranked, but they definitely every season upset someone really crazy.
Yes. I thought that game, just like watching it back, was crazy. That was such a physical game, but it just looked like Tennessee looked like tired. Like they were giving them everything in the paint, which like I said, those SEC games are like those are games that are won in the paint. And looking at Kim Caldwell on the sideline, she looked pissed.
In the handshake after our
lack
with Coach Yo,
walked right by. So yeah, that was kind of like things were really starting to bubble, and then the actual collapse I feel like was the loss to Texas A&M. Who I think is 4-9 in conference play.
Not good. That's a terrible. Yeah, it was a handed win.
It was crazy. I was also watching it back, and I felt like the embodiment of where Tennessee is at right now was like the first play of the game, and Texas A&M just absolutely clipped the ball away and like stole it from Nia Robertson, and then they went in and got like an and one like breakaway, and I was just like, yep, like this is like entirely what it's like to be Tennessee in this exact moment. So that was crazy. And Kim Caldwell after the game said, I don't think we're doing much of anything, and I don't have anything to say about that, and I think all of our errors at the end of the day are on me, and I think that's understood, because she's gotten some blowback for the system that she's using right now, which I feel like is kind of one of those things where it's when it's really successful, it's successful, but when it's not, it's really not. And they played, 4 games in 8 days. So if you're running a system that thrives on full court press and transition, you're exhausted.
Exactly. It's like you can't, especially if you have like all these back-to-back games against some of the best teams
for the rest of the schedule too.
Right, if the best teams in the conference, and you know that that's what's happening. It's like you have to find a way to conserve your energy, which is kind of what, like I remember, I guess it was the first time that we taped here. I said that about Kim Caldwell's system. I'm like, the way she plays basketball is, or her teams play basketball is crazy.
Yeah, like, it's aggressive. It reminds me of like the Indiana Pacers, which like brought them to the finals last year. Not to bring up men's basketball.
The NBA.
But like, it can work. Like I'm just like saying, like in that sense, like they like rushed teams in a way where it's like you're always playing transition basketball, but like when it blows back on you and you're the one feeling the pressure because you're so exhausted, like you just can't keep up with yourself almost.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like when that's not working, it's like they don't really have anywhere else to go. To
fall back on, totally. So that was kind of my questions for you guys. Like, is the system sustainable with their schedule for the rest of the season? Because their schedule it gets harder.
Yeah, it can't, it just gets worse.
Yeah.
And then when it's like a tournament.
I also think it really depends on what she's doing in practices.
Yeah, true.
Like if all of her practices are that high intensity, and then there's no time to rest. And people's bodies just can't take that. So I don't know.
Also like emotionally and spiritually, like just the beat down of like losses and like the loss to Texas A&M, just like that's so demoralizing. And we talked about last week about like her kind of rhetoric in the press conference and like will it inspire them or not. And I guess when we saw the Texas game, we were like, okay, maybe it like fueled them, but since then, it's not giving that.
Well, it's also if you're giving that much to the Texas game, then what? Like you don't have anything else in the tank to give to these teams where you should win.
Inspiration or not, like if you're tired, you're tired. If you have nothing else to give, so I don't know. I don't know if they can turn things around for March. I don't know if they'll have anything left in the tank by March to like make a run at the tournament, because that's when you're supposed to be like at your highest.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it doesn't look like it's trending in that direction. Like I feel like if I had to guess one way or the other, I would say it's gonna go more of the same, like that we saw with Texas A&M, and just more losses.
Yeah, I don't know, because who do they have coming up?
They're playing Oklahoma on Sunday.
Oh shit.
And they're playing LSU on Thursday.
At LSU?
I believe so.
Like that's what I mean, like it's just it's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's not. Like maybe that's too extreme, but like
oh my god.
I just don't see like with the way they played the last like 2 games and many others, like how they're gonna be able to.
I also think their success rate, as you've seen, it's like they were having the most success at the beginning of the season when they had fresh bodies and legs, and like then towards the end. But I guess I will say, like, it does. Kim Caldwell's a really young coach. This is only her second season in the SEC. So the fact that she maybe, I don't know, it's like she's saying this in a press conference, but like who knows what she's saying like with her assistants like behind closed doors, but hopefully she's like taking this and learning from it, and based on what she's saying,
I feel
it
like
seems
the
like
most
maybe
recent
she
quote,
is.
like what you just said, she kind of pivoted a little bit. It was like, it's
Right.
on me, like I'm not going to say like too much about it, but like she's kind of taking ownership of like what's happening.
I feel like after one loss, like after their crazy loss, the South Carolina loss, when she was like speaking out of turn, maybe like that's out of passion and like you said, the inexperience maybe, but then like once the losses start stacking up, you have to look in the mirror and be like, okay, what's going on? So
it's really interesting. And I also think because before she was coaching at Marshall, mid-major school, where maybe just when you don't have respect to Marshall, but like if you don't have like the same quality of opponents, like maybe you can run like a system that totally depends on transition offense and condition your players like that. Like if their opponents don't have the skill level to combat it, like. But in the SEC, that's just like maybe not possible.
Totally. Okay, let's keep the SEC drama rolling.
Oh,
there's lots of it.
There's lots. So well, we were talking about Texas in the context of Tennessee, but Texas got thrown out by Vandy.
Crazy.
And that was crazy. Not because Vandy, like, I don't think they have it in them. They're, like, such a great team. Caleb Blake's, like,
she's
could be, like, National Player of the Year. Or, like, in the conversation. But, like, that game, they were just so dominant. Like, they never trailed. They just, like, from the jump, like, were just, like, I feel like running all over them. So that was just, it was, like, I don't know, it was just surprising because I feel like Texas is such a good team.
Yeah.
But, okay, Michaela Blake's had 34 points, and first of all, she's averaging, like, 26 points.
That's
over
insane.
26 points. That's crazy. And it's, like, not like they have, like...
In the
SEC.
SEC.
In the SEC.
That's crazy.
3 of 4 of the teams... Okay, she scored 30 or more points in the last 4 games, including the Texas game.
That's
oh my god.
3 of 4 of those teams were ranked.
That's, like, gotta be a record. Producers, can
Is
somebody
that a
check
record?
and
Yeah.
record?
It was against Kentucky, Oklahoma, then Texas. 30 points or more.
Dude.
And then also, like, I'll also shout out to Aubrey Galvin, because she's also just, like, I feel like
freshman.
she's just throwing things. When I was the Texas game, like, she would just, like, throw something up, and it's just, like, going in, and that was crazy. And she had 18 points, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like her ceiling's really high.
Yes.
Yeah, if this is her debut, it's like,
it's
we're
crazy.
only gonna see more from her.
So I'm watching that and I'm like, wow, like Vanderbilt's so good. Like we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Then right the next game they lose to Georgia, and like it wasn't like a blowout loss or anything, but Blake's so she still had 27 points, but 19 of them were from the free throw line, which that's
Crazy.
interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then
That's so weird.
Yeah.
19 points from the
it
free
was
throw
like
line.
19, 20, I think.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
That's like 8 points just in the field.
I know,
so
that's what I was saying.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so Georgia, it was Danny Carnegie who like went off. Like, she, like I don't know, it was either like 29, 27, I think it was 29 points. So I just like don't know like if it says more about Vandy or if it just says like about what it says about the SEC in general. Like I feel like I was like, oh, like Vandy's gonna win, but every time there's like an SEC matchup, like anything can happen.
I know.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I think Georgia's another one. They've had a couple ranked wins this year. Especially, I think they were one of the teams that beat Kentucky when Kentucky was maybe in the top 15.
Yeah.
Kentucky's been as high as 8, I'm pretty sure. And Georgia was one of the teams that beat them and then they had some injuries. But I guess all this to say, it's like, I really think it says so much about the quality of play in the SEC. Like the
And the
parity in the
style.
SEC.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's crazy.
It's kind of just like who's gonna outlast the other team. Like who's the most physical.
Or also what it could say is like, what does this say about Texas, like the fact that both of these teams that have had some success have had losses after playing them. It's like how much does it require to beat a team like Texas?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And okay, the top 16 was released.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah.
And then they released another one like on March 1st, and that's the last time they released before the Selection Sunday. But Vandy got the number 1 spot over Texas, and then less than 24 hours later, it's the Georgia loss. Like,
wow.
It's just like.
So you know what this means? Texas has to beat Georgia.
I know.
And they're playing each other. They're playing each other on Thursday.
No.
It's
And
upcoming Thursday.
we talked about this earlier, just off the pod, but like any common opponents that these teams have, like going forward, they're like.
They need to be terrified.
They're just lock in.
They
They know Texas is coming for them now.
Right.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
What it does for like the bracketology and just for like the rankings is like
It's
unbelievable.
so fun.
It makes your
so
brain explode.
Yeah, it really does.
It's so crazy.
So watch out, Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia. And
Like,
any
be careful.
and like common opponents between like South Carolina and Texas also like on watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Speaking of South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina. Okay, a great game.
Yeah.
South Carolina at LSU. That was so fun. Okay, again, it's so fun.
It's
so
so
fun.
Dawn Staley's Boo shirt.
Yes.
So
Oh my God, she's so funny.
Perfect.
But they extended their winning streak, South Carolina, over LSU.
Yeah.
To 18. It was like a packed out crowd. Like it was
Wow.
loud.
So
It was
crazy.
popping. I was like, I want to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
really want to be there.
energy.
But so okay, just for like the basketball stuff. Okay, well LSU had 10 missed layups.
Yeah, you can't
And
do that.
yeah, you can't be doing that. And 9 missed free throws.
That's
That's the
kind
big
of more damning to me.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
especially in the SEC.
I was gonna
Yes.
say when
It's
when
such
your
a-
game is won like in the paint, you can't miss 10 layups.
Or you can't miss the free throws
Yeah,
that
I mean
you
that
get
too.
from the missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And
that's just.
the
If you're drawing fouls is such an important part of that style of
Yes,
play.
absolutely.
And if you're drawing the fouls but you can't make the shots at the line,
It's like what do
you're
you
losing.
You're
You're
right.
gonna lose.
the 2 of those missed free throws were from Flage at the end.
Crazy.
It like the last 45 seconds of the game. It was like
She's usually
were
like
down-
ice in her
I
veins.
know,
Yeah,
they were
she
down
is.
by 1 point at that point. And I mean, Flage, like, it's not like she had a bad game. Like, she was, like, by far their leading scorer. She had 21 points, 8 rebounds. But she was only 2 of 6 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, I don't know. It's kind of reflective. Like, she missed those shots, and then they never scored again the last 45 seconds. It was Medina Okot scored 4 of South Carolina's last 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of those were free throws. So you have like this big making her free throws, and Flage is missing hers. And I just feel like it's kind of reflective of like just the 2 teams. Like when I was watching, I was like, South Carolina is just so like they came into that environment in Baton Rouge and just like
They're highly
They're so
disciplined.
They're
I was
so
gonna say, they're so
disciplined.
regimented.
They're
Like,
Yes.
Dawn is
disciplined.
so on top.
And you
of it.
can
Yeah.
see that in their coaches as well.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
damn, she kills me.
I
I love watching her on
I
the
love,
sideline.
like, no,
Her legs.
So
she is
much
like,
passion.
she's literally
So
the
passionate.
best. She's the best TV in basketball.
I
Like,
love it.
she's so
Everything.
fascinating to watch.
But so is
her-
Dawn too.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like her coaching style,
Yeah.
and then is like I would not call that discipline.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we see her like
Yeah.
throwing stuff on the sidelines and like taking her coats
Yeah.
off and like screaming at refs, right?
Yeah.
And not to say that Dawn doesn't get worked up too.
No.
It's just not as flamboyant
Yeah.
as Kim. And then when it comes down to the end of the game and it's between who can make free throws, that's discipline.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a disciplined practice.
And I think it also, like, to be fair, works to Kim's favor. Like, that's her style, and I feel like she wants her players to like be themselves. Like,
Mhm.
and Flage is such a good example of that. But yeah, like Dawn is all about the details.
I feel like
And that's what
also
wins you games.
South
Yeah.
Carolina, just like every time they have like a big game, like they just show up. And
Yeah.
LSU, out of their 4 losses that they've had this season, 3 have been close games.
Yeah.
They lost against Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and now South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. When I was watching it, I was like, oh, it's so close. Like they switched, who was leading, swapped like multiple times. But I feel like deep down I was like, South Carolina's going to win.
I was going to say.
I just felt like they were going to win.
If I'm South Carolina, like, I'm kind of not really worried about anybody except probably, like, UConn.
Yeah.
And, like, UCLA. Like,
yeah,
the two teams that
be a
have them.
repeat.
Like, yeah, exactly.
The
Might
West.
repeat.
I think they could. I don't think they're going to beat
Yeah,
Newcastle,
God, no.
but
Definitely not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I mean, I feel like at this point, like, yeah, the South Carolina 18-game winning streak over LSU, like, I'm, like, looking at them like they're my, like, SEC kid sister at this point, like, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, obviously it's a close game, but it's like you said, like, I didn't necessarily feel worried that South Carolina wasn't going to pull out this win.
And you just have, like, this was an interesting quote from Dawn. She was talking about Raven Johnson, who had a great game. Her and Tessa Johnson, the Johnsons.
The Johnsons.
Yeah, they were killing them. But she said that at the end, she was like, she said that she was one of the players that she'll miss the most out of all the players she's coached. And then she was like, for real.
Oh.
I'm like, for real? Out of all?
That's crazy.
I feel
That's
like she's
such
so
a high
players.
compliment.
I know. I was
Wow.
like watching it and I was like, and then Raven Johnson was just like,
She's like, I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
But so okay, that's like all just like the basketball stuff. But I feel like what I really took away from this game was just like the impact beyond. The game averaged 1.7 million viewers and it peaked at 2.2 on ABC. And it was the first time ABC's had a regular season women's basketball game in the Saturday primetime slot. And like College Game Day was in Baton Rouge before, and that program averaged 1.2 million viewers, which was the most watched episode of Women's Game Day ever. And again, like I said, the environment was just so fun, and I just felt like it was so fun to watch like that. And just, I feel like it's in keeping with like where women's basketball is going. And
Speaking of, you have this. Is it okay if I bring
yeah,
this
go
up?
for it. No, go for it.
Do it.
Because
So fun.
it seems like finally ESPN is like paying attention to these numbers because the recent news just broke that they are finally they're filling a Sunday primetime spot with Women's Sports Sunday.
Ooh.
And they're replacing Sunday night baseball.
Yeah.
God.
Which
like,
honestly, like, and I also have to say, as happy as I am about this, the fact that they were talking about one league and are replacing it with all of women's sports is kind of ridiculous.
I think it's
But
like
we'll
mostly
take
like it's WNBA and NWSL.
Right.
Right.
Which
And also
makes
like
sense.
people were, I feel like, like the immediate reaction from people who don't know anything, it was like, like they would replace baseball with women's sports. I was like, baseball, like they had opted out of like Sunday night baseball, ESPN, like a year ago, just because like they did, like a year ago, like they've been opted out. They were filling the spot with women's sports. People were so mad. I'm like, it's not dead. It's just on like NBC or something.
And also,
Right.
like, I don't know, baseball's the
Baseball's-
old man's
No.
sport.
yeah, I gotta be honest, I love going to baseball games.
Of course.
I'm not gonna watch analysis about baseball on TV.
Unless I want to take a nap.
No, literally
Sorry.
imagine like
No, I
Sunday
agree with you.
evening,
Like,
and you're just like watching.
Oh,
like that's
WNBA.
amazing.
That's so
That's
much
amazing.
fun.
we need some
I love
prime
that.
time.
It's literally so much fun, and I don't know. I just feel like it's so exciting. Again, like it just reflects like where
We're headed,
we're
especially
headed.
Mhm.
with all the CBA.
Yeah, which like they need to get
negotiations.
that figured out. because
Exactly. People want to be watching.
We have prime time.
We have prime
For
time
I think it's like
slots.
9 weeks. Yeah, it's the summer is when it's.
Oh, that's
happening.
that's
It's summer.
perfect.
a
for
summer night. Maybe we open the windows.
I know.
We're grilling. I
Get a
don't know
nice
where,
little
but
beer action
yeah,
going.
exactly.
It's perfect.
Put our feet up.
Like,
Yeah,
wow, it's so
that's gonna be
exciting.
good.
Okay, and then we have to talk about
The social media.
like have to.
Wait, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
like,
do it,
have to.
do it.
Okay, I feel like also, again, like, it's just so much fun. Women's sports are so much fun. There were so many, like, memes or just, like,
Yeah, bring it
videos,
up.
social media videos that came up.
Yeah, so it's so fun. And
It's so much fun.
what happens when you put a good game like that in a prime time spot
It's
is
fire,
that people
viral
actually
moments.
watch and you
Yes.
get viral
And
moments.
they're so
And
funny.
it's-
So, wait, the first one we have to. It's Flage. Throwing up. And then like the tears like in her eyes.
Oh my
like,
God.
it was after they had lost.
So bad.
She's
like,
gonna write a song about it or something.
Oh,
She
the
has
goat.
to.
I love her. It was just so, and I was also just kind of like, what is it?
it's such a
Did anyone
heartbreaking
figure out like what
clip
it
of
means?
her, but
She just like saying like support, like it was
I don't
like she
know.
was in the
Because
the
that's
guy
her
that's
thing.
so
Right.
That's her thing, like
She's
Big
four.
Four.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know, like, why she threw it up then.
And the memes like in response to
Yeah.
everything.
So sad.
I just remember one day I was
But
like
it's so-
sending you were
Yeah,
sending
it
like
was
across
me.
from me and I was just like, look another one. Another one. It's just so funny and it's just like
God.
oh no. It is sad, it's like I felt bad for
I
her.
feel
but
bad for her
I
because,
know.
but it is like, I hope she has a sense of humor about it.
I think she
because
would.
Yeah.
I know, she seems like she has a good sense of humor about
Well,
things.
she also knows her like presence
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
it as a brand.
She's very
She also, it's not like she had a horrible game. It's
No,
it sucks
not
that
at
she
all.
missed
And
those
it's
2
like-
free throws,
Yeah.
but like
But it's so good.
so good.
or it's so and then
And then
both of these moments are like at the expense of LSU, but it's fine. Like halfway through the third quarter, it was Tessa Johnson. Like she hit. It's like okay. First of all, the first half she had 16 points. She was 3 for 5 from 3, just 6 of 9 shooting.
damn.
And so then halfway through the third quarter, she like. I think it was, she got like an and one, and then like shortly after, Kim Mulkey called a timeout, and you can see like the camera's like in the huddle with them, and she's yelling like, "Who can guard Tessa?" And it's just like a little crash out, valid. But then like a moment that came from it, like it was a freshman that raised like she like immediately shoots her hand up, and I was like, oh, and she gets put in the game. Bella Hines, shout out. And then I think Tessa only had 2 shot attempts, both of which were no good.
Like fire me up.
Like,
yes,
like,
like,
that's how
fire
you
me
end
up.
up at LSU.
Literally,
Yeah,
like,
dude.
You have to, you're a
immediately.
freshman who can
Shooting
guard like one of the
immediately.
best shooters
That's
in the
like a
country.
product of Kim
Immediately.
Mulkey.
It was
Yes.
awesome.
Like it's
Puts
so
her in.
amazing.
Wait, and then chills. Wait, I literally I just got chills. But then at the end, this was interesting too. Kim Mulkey was like, they asked her about it, and she was like, I saw a kid who I need to play more.
Oh, I'm
she
getting
needs to
chills.
take away some of the minutes of some. She got out there and guarded Tessa. She wasn't afraid to like bow up to her, is what she said. And I'm like, first of all, I wonder whose minutes she's taking.
Wow.
Second of all, like wow,
Dude, that's
That's
how
like
players
magic.
are made.
I know that's like
Yes.
so magic.
wow.
Oh god.
Like I literally.
And
felt
and
chills.
shout out to ESPN for catching that
Catching
moment.
like we need.
Prime time,
Oh
prime
my
time.
God. Prime
That's what you
time in the huddle. Who can guard
Who
Tessa?
can guard Tessa? Like she was so frantic. And Valen, I don't think
Good. She's genuinely wondering.
Yeah.
Who?
but I think she only had 19 points, so I think she didn't score again.
Yeah.
That's-
Like wow.
What a moment.
What a moment.
Shout out to ESPN for getting
So
that.
Seriously.
Beautiful.
Obsessed.
All right.
Okay.
Take us home to the pros.
I know.
Country
God,
roads.
I mean, I don't even want to like. Well, hopefully this isn't a vibe shift. But
Famous
we're
last
talking
words.
about the CBA.
Yep.
Which
Aren't
is,
we always?
Aren't we always?
and it's like, okay, yeah, like we still aren't. We're nowhere.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's
so
no CBA.
on Tuesday, last Tuesday, the Players Union submitted a counter proposal. Remember, the league sent their previous proposal back saying that it was unrealistic.
Right.
Okay. And this proposal had some concessions in it. Okay, so in the proposal, the WNBPA requested 25% of gross revenue in the first year, remember? In the last proposal, they were requesting 30%. So drop to 25%, and that would increase over the life of the agreement to about 27.5. So that's like 2.5% increase.
Right.
And this also is, in this would be a lower salary cap, so a salary cap below 9.5 million.
Right.
And then also housing has been like a big part of the negotiations too. The players proposed that teams would provide housing to players in the first like several years of the new agreement, but once a player reaches like max salary or is on like a multi-year deal and receiving like full salary protection, the league no longer has to provide housing for the player.
Right.
Okay, so those were some of the changes.
All right.
And the league sent that proposal back and called it unrealistic.
Yikes.
So
Yikes, big
we
yikes.
still don't have a deal. So this is kind of happening while NBA All-Star Weekend is happening. So
Which
Adam
sometimes
Silver,
where WNBA
Yes.
teams are at, but,
Yeah.
but they weren't this
not.
year.
Right.
I wonder why.
Yeah, except for like
Well,
a court side, but not playing.
Right, and
Yeah.
like
Right.
all of the All-Star, like a couple years ago when Sabrina and Steph Curry like did the
Yes.
shooting contest, like that was
awesome.
the biggest thing that they had.
Yeah.
Like
huge.
the WNBA players have been a big part of the NBA's All-Star Weekend for a really long time. It's like a huge part of their marketing.
Yeah.
And honestly, people don't watch All-Star Weekend really anymore. So the fact that
Not for them.
WNBA players,
Yeah.
right? So the fact that WNBA
Yeah.
players have been like their
Not
biggest
yeah.
marketing piece for a couple of years now, the fact that they weren't a part of that is a big deal.
Totally.
So, Adam Silver was being asked questions about this because we've talked about this before. He
Is an evil Disney villain.
he definitely looks like an evil Disney villain, but he also is like the NBA is the owner of the W.
Right.
So he said something that he, quote, would love to do is put pressure on everyone, and, quote,
Sorry.
we need to now move forward in the next level in sense of urgency, end quote.
Can we just acknowledge how crazy it is that the NBA owns the WNBA?
Right, like that's
just to say.
it's just a little,
It's so weird.
it is a little weird, and I understand why it needed to be that way, especially in like its infancy, but it seems like, I don't know, that's like a whole other, it's a whole other
I feel like they've talked
conversation.
like sense of urgency, like it
Right.
is, or we're extremely urgent.
It's been
It's been
urgent.
urgent since like for
The
months.
draft is in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, free agency was supposed to start at the beginning of this month.
Yeah. And so Nneka Ogwumike spoke to the press, and basically she was like, I really didn't like, basically expressed that she didn't like that comment.
Yeah.
And she said that players have been working with a sense of urgency. And then today in USA Sports, Nafisa spoke to them and had a quote that said, because basically the whole article is like outlining that there's no deal, and basically saying like, she opened up the article, or the article is opened up with a quote, well, someone's going to have to fold, aren't they? From Nafisa Collier.
Wow.
That was released today.
Wow.
And the article goes on and kind of talks about like how now we're getting to this point, everyone's kind of looking at each other wondering if this is going to happen or not. We're really getting down to the wire. And Nafisa has a quote that says, I hope people just remember that we want to be out there too. I think it gets lost with lots of different narratives out there that we're being unreasonable. Whatever it is, this is our livelihood, this is our job, our passions, what we love to do most in the world. We want to be out there. It's just such a pivotal time in women's sports, and we've been growing for so long.
Yeah.
So I think we did a whole episode about like rhetoric in the press and how maybe the Players Association has maybe not taken a super sympathetic approach. I think that this is a very sympathetic approach. Like being out there being like, we want to play and we want to play under the conditions that are going to set us up.
Yeah.
Like that's the way to do this.
Yeah.
I think that they're
So do you think this is like kind of a shift in tone from Nafisa?
I think it's a shift in tone from both Nafisa and Nneka. And I think part of that is probably because they also are like, like
Whoa,
the
that's
clock's
yeah.
ticking.
Right.
And I think that, I mean, look, Subert or Rebecca Lobo are like very close with all these players.
Yeah.
If they're feeling comfortable going out in public and saying that they don't think that the rhetoric has been effective, then who knows what conversations they've been having individually.
Yeah.
I don't know. And also like I also think that something that's relevant to bring up is that it was announced on Instagram that Brianna Stewart is joining Fenerbahce. I really hope I'm saying this right. Fenerbahce Opet.
Beats me, but yeah.
It's a Turkish team, so forgive me. But she is playing with them for the EuroLeague Final Six, so it's like just kind of the playoffs. And her contract with them ends the day that training camp is supposed to begin.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know how. There are two different ways to read this. One is that Stewie's a winner. Stewie likes to win. It's been, I don't know, like 2 years since she's gotten a trophy of some kind. And
which is long for her. She's used to that 4P grind.
Yeah, exactly. So she's, going overseas, which she did for years.
Yeah,
she went overseas for years and years and years. So, and also the Final Six is happening in Spain, which is where her wife's family is.
Right.
So,
it makes
right.
sense.
So there's one way to read it, which is like just that.
Right.
And then there's the other way to read this, which is like,
it's making a stand.
It might be subtly saying, well, guess what? And we still have other
things we have unrivaled
we
too.
can do. We have unrivaled. We can play in EuroLeague.
Yeah.
Like we have other options if we need to take them.
I think it helps balance like both sides of the tone of like what Fee is doing and what NEC is doing, which I think is effective in like letting people in a little bit more of like, we love this game.
Right.
And the reason that we're doing this and being so intentional about taking the right deal is because, which is what we were saying when we first started talking about it, it's such a pivotal moment for them to renegotiate, like since the league's creation, like, and now we're at this point, like they have to get it right. But I think bringing people in with this quote that's a little more empathetic to what they're doing, but then also striking the tone of what Stewie's doing of like, but yeah, like at the end of the day, if it's not fit and not what we want, like we're gonna go and do other things. Or even like Natasha Cloud's like tweet that was like very like cryptic. Like I think there's a way to be like relatable and approachable, but also like stand firm for what you want and not taking less than that.
Right. And also I feel like the thing that's tough in negotiations like these is like, if you want the public to sympathize with you, you have to show some sort of vulnerability, right? It's like, this is what we want, and we want this so badly.
And we want you to want this with us too.
Yes, exactly. It's like you want the public to be able to share in that with you.
Yeah.
And I feel like in negotiations like these, which obviously get contentious when there's so much money on the line, the previous tactic, which is like, okay, there's like an inflatable rat popping up in front of NBA stores in New York City, and like they're calling like a $10 million salary cap a slap in the face.
Right.
That is a little,
it's not gonna resonate with the people.
Unrelatable, right? To like your average person.
Right.
This, which is like, we love playing basketball.
Right. Let us play basketball.
Let us play basketball, and let us play basketball in a way that's gonna like help us like sustain the success. Is way more sympathetic to the public, and I think it's a much better strategy. And now I'm like, also knowing that the last proposal that they sent had concessions in it,
they're getting close. Like they want to be there.
It's like that makes me side with them more. It's like, look how they're conceding. Like they're conceding, and they're still being called outrageously unrealistic.
Then it's
So I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm just like, we've been saying this ever since we started this, but like
the most dead beaten horses.
It's crazy.
It's like just not. Crazy. It's like insane that we're still sitting here talking about the same stuff.
And it's the end of February.
But what that means is that like we're probably gonna see one of the weirdest W seasons
Yeah.
that we've ever seen.
Ever.
Like free agency
Oh
is gonna
my
be backwards
God.
or like happening at the same time as the draft. Like that's gonna affect moves.
It's
Like
expansion
there's
draft,
expansion
yeah.
teams. Like the new CBA deal will hopefully be cemented. Like we're about to see probably like maybe one of the most exciting seasons if it happens. Hopefully in WNBA history.
I know.
Yeah.
So
In the 30th year.
And also, like, knowing that there's a prime time slot to
I know.
cover
To do
them
all
on
of this.
ESPN,
yeah.
it's like it puts just another level of pressure on this situation.
Yeah.
It's like I just cannot imagine that any of these players are going into
There's
these
no
negotiations with the intention of striking.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't imagine it.
Truly not.
Totally. Yeah.
Guess we'll see. Every single time we end CBA, like our
We end our
December, we'll
episode being
see.
like,
I know.
Guess we'll see next week.
Yeah.
There probably will be more, but
Yeah.
okay. Ep
Alright.
7. Let's put it in the books.
Nice. Yay.